how to deal with times when your other half is coming to bed later than you, wakes you up, and then you're not able to fall back to sleep easily again. So this is very much a particular couple dynamic that often comes up in my practice when I work with either one person who struggled with long-term insomnia or sleep problems, or both sides of that couple dynamic. Now, often in my work, I do integrate the other halves because naturally sleep, bed and bedroom environment includes both parts of that couple dynamic. So it's important for us to work together on making sure that both parties can sleep well consistently. But in this video, we're really going to look at a particular dynamic that causes problems a lot of the times for couples. This one person going to bed later than the other, and therefore causes some of these disturbances. And we'll go into more details about some of the different scenarios and how you can actually really work through it, so you can really start making a positive improvement in your life when it comes to these kind of sleep problems. Now, before we do that, welcome back if you're part of my community. Thank you again for your continuous support. I really appreciate you coming back, watching and engaging with my content. If you're brand new, then let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Beatrix Schmidt. I'm a sleep coach, a professional speaker, and the creator of the Sleep Skills for Life program, which is very much my way of helping people like you who want to overcome their long-term sleep problems or insomnia. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button below, or join my email community via my website, and hit that little bell too, so I can let you know when I post new videos. And once you watch the video and you liked what I shared with you today, then don't forget to hit the like button as well. Now that we covered that, let me give you a bit of an introduction of this answer that I've given to the client during the live group sleep coaching session. Now, in this particular scenario, we're dealing with a couple of different things. First of all, historically, the couple actually decided to sleep in separate rooms because of the sleep problems. So we talked about sleep divorce, and they already worked through sleeping in separate beds, and they actually finally were able to sleep together in the same bed after a period of time. So it was already quite a bit of work went into getting the person to a better place. So it's important to bear that in mind, that all of these things are stage by stage, step by step, and we really get a person closer to their end goals. But this particular one is when they were already sleeping in the same bed, but very clearly they preferred different things. So one person would prefer to go to bed at a certain time, another person would prefer to go to bed at a different time. And my answer really often shows up in three different ways. So one part is when the other half comes into bed and you're not yet asleep. So this is the first part. Sometimes you're transitioning into sleep, you feel like you're potentially more sleepy, and then a person comes in, maybe makes you a bit more alert, and therefore that is what one scenario is, when you can't fall back to sleep later on easily. Another version is when you get woken up in the middle of the night for whatever reason, whether or not the other person tosses and turns, or they might have come home later than you, or maybe they are sometimes might be popping to the toilet. So there could be many different reasons why one of the part of the couple wakes up in the middle of the night and ends up waking up the other. So that's the second scenario, where in the middle of the night, after X amount of sleep, you are being woken up and you're not able to fall back to sleep again easily. And the third part is when this actually happens closer to your morning or your end of your night. And this often is very simply because one person might need to wake up earlier than the other, and maybe there is an alarm involved in that too. So if, let's say, your other half needs to wake up earlier and their alarm goes off, then it can naturally often wake you up towards the end of your night. But all these three different scenarios are not that different from each other in terms of how we deal with it. And in today's video, my answer will really help you to apply it into different places anyway. So let's move on to sharing with you what I shared with my client as well. First of all, the decision to honor yourself first, meaning I'm not going to stay up just to potentially please him. Now, if you go out together, let's say for dinner, then both of you are choosing to stay out later because that's an event or that's other thing. But when you're at home, choosing to completely honor your rhythm and the intentions we set within the program comes first. So this is where I see often couples trying to align to each other because they want to go to bed at the same time. But couples don't match their sleep most of the time. You are different human beings, which means what time you want to go to bed might be different. So again, mindset, allow yourself to be okay going to bed before him or after him. I don't care which option that is. You are two different human beings. You get a choice of what you prefer to do. Now, if you choose, see, again, we go back to the same mindset. If you choose to stay up later with him, don't let your mind make it into a problem, providing you're not going away from what I mentioned in terms of sleep diary and sleep times. What you don't want is one day is this, another day is that, and then you have a fluctuation of time. So you want to become probably half an hour-ish sort of time frame of the earliest and latest. If it's an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, it starts to actually mess up the rhythm just at this stage of the training. So make a choice. Not 5 minutes before, but okay, let's say we're sitting down to watch a film and that film is going to be 2 hours long, which means that actually I'm probably going to run over my sleep time. So make a choice. I am just going to watch the film because I want to have an evening with him, and that's totally fine. So see, your mind isn't going to make it into a problem because you made a choice. That's one. If you're choosing to go to bed earlier than him, often what happens is as you're walking into the bedroom or you start preparing, maybe brush your teeth, whatever the last bits are, your mind is going to start telling you what you should worry about. So during the evening part, the very last part of your evening, as you are literally prepared to climb into bed, often the mind will pick up, well, yeah, but what if this happens? What if that happens? And what if I wake up and he walks in? What if I hear the toilet flush? What if? And that will show up. So as let's say you said your goodbyes and he's staying and you're moving towards your bedroom, you're getting ready for bed. Watch what your mind is doing because it will always be there. If it's having these, well, what if, and the worry comes, use the same mindset of I chose to go to bed at this time because I want to do it. And it doesn't matter what he does. The only thing I need to do is rest and relax. And it's okay if he wakes me up. That does not mean that I can't go back to sleep again because you can't predict the future. That is only one of the options. But again, the mind will tell you, well, if he comes later and he wakes me up, then I can't go back to sleep. No, the question is, it's how long it might take you to fall asleep. And it does not have to be long. What if you wake up? Not a problem. Your job is to go back to sleep no matter how long it takes. So the worry comes from, most of the time, the worry comes from, what if I can't go back to sleep? But also, it's because you're afraid of being woken up. Being woken up by another person coming into bed with you does not have to be a problem. The mind is very capable of either just waking up to become aware that this other person walked into my room and then drift back off to sleep again. But you haven't even allowed that to potentially unfold, which means you don't have the positive proof. The only thing you've got is what if the worst thing happens, right? So self-talk that I choose and be okay with if it doesn't work out perfectly. If he wakes you up, the only thing you're going to do is you're going to stay rested, relaxed, and you're just going to bring yourself down to relaxed, and sleep will follow. And again, I don't care if it takes you half an hour, 45 minutes to fall asleep. The only thing matters is you will fall asleep. Yeah? So expectations is also part of worries. How long is it going to take me? Am I going to be able to fall asleep? You can, providing you come back to rest and relaxed. That is the only thing that will make sure that you will fall back to sleep. Any tension, worry, emotions, frustrations, anything like that, that means you're no longer relaxed. Now that I've shared with you what I spoke to my clients about as well, let me know how it relates to you. So again, what's important is really allowing yourself to relate it back to your situation. Which part of it did you actually feel like you're very familiar with? Pop it down in the comment box or reach out through my website separately, whichever way is more convenient. But I would really love to know how this particular scenario might play out for you and whether or not my answer has actually been applicable to your situation. Like I mentioned earlier, there's many different scenarios when it comes to couple dynamics, but this is quite a common one, so I'm pretty sure that it's going to be helpful in order to really help you to be able to sleep better with your other half. So thank you so much for watching. If you have liked the content of this video, this is the time to hit that like button below. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell so I can let you know when I post new videos. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.